What's up everyone, welcome back to another video with the Millennial Finance. Did you ever want to invest your money and get guaranteed instant returns? Well then, you've come to the right place. Sounds a bit scammy, I assure you it's not a scam, but I guess it could be a bit misleading. Anyway, today we'll be talking all things private retirement scheme or PRS specifically for you Malaysians. The reason I'm making this video now is because we're already in December of 2021 and this investment is especially important at the year end. So make sure you watch this video to the end to find out why. Cha-ching! So first of all, what is PRS? The private retirement scheme is an investment scheme that's designed to help us save for our retirement. It's completely voluntary, but it's meant for the very long term. You know how reports has recently come out that 3.6 million Malaysians have less than 1,000 ringgit in their EPFs? How are they going to retire, right? Well, the Malaysian government smartly thought, why don't I help Malaysians retire better by using their own money? Well, the Malaysian government came up with this investing scheme to help Malaysians with their retirement. Even though we have to use our own money and there's no direct contribution from them, there are still some benefits for us. But before we go there, how does all of it work? Basically, you can start by selecting from 8 different fund managers which have been approved, and again, it is totally voluntary, you don't have to do it. If you decide to put your money in, it works very similarly to EPF. You'll have 2 accounts, one being account A, which 70% of your funds will go to, and account B, which 30% of your funds will go to. You can only withdraw from account A at retirement age, which is 55 years old as of today. This is a super important thing that you have to take note of about this investment, is that you cannot withdraw your money from account A until you are 55 years old, except for very specific reasons. An example is if you're considering to depart Malaysia permanently, apparently like more than 70% of Malaysian youth are considering right now. Anyway, other than this, you can't withdraw this money for any other reason. If you touch wood pass away, then this money will go to your next of kin. Account B, on the other hand, is a bit more lenient. You can withdraw it for housing or healthcare needs. You can also decide to withdraw the money once a year for absolutely no reason at all, even before you're the age of 55, but you will get a tax penalty of 8%. And keep in mind, again, this is only for account B, which holds 30% of your funds. So up to this point, this setup seems exactly like EPF. Well, it is. The only difference is that EPF is mandatory for Malaysian employees. PRS is totally voluntary. So having said all of this, why would anyone invest in PRS? If I had some spare money lying around, why don't I just invest it in normal stocks, normal mutual funds, or put it in robo-advisors like StashAway, where I can withdraw my money at any time, versus this, where I'm basically locking my money up for the next 30, 40 years, depending on how old we are. To me, there are only 2 real reasons why anyone would invest their money in this private retirement scheme. The first reason you might want to do this is if you have a massive problem, you really despise having money in your bank account, and as soon as you see some more come in, you just want to spend it because you don't like having money in your bank account. As soon as more cash comes into your account, there's an itch in your body that forces you to spend, and because of this, you can never invest your money. Even if you manage to invest it 1 month, you still withdraw it not long after so that you can buy the new shiny toy. Well, if this is you, which we hope it's not, then PRS could actually be a good option for you because it, in a way, forces you to be disciplined with your money since you cannot withdraw it for any reason at all. So this is not really true for me. I, of course, can split my money for investments and savings. So this number 1 thing doesn't apply for me, and I believe for most of you as well. The second reason that anyone will invest in this private retirement scheme though may apply, or actually applies, for all of us. This is that we get a tax relief of up to 3,000 ringgit just for investing in it. This was recently extended in Budget 2020 and this should go on until 2025. So how this works is that if, let's say, you put in 3,000 ringgit into the private retirement scheme, you can deduct 3,000 ringgit from your taxable income, and resultingly you will pay less in taxes for this financial year. So let's say you're a high earner and you're making more than 1 million ringgit a year, then hit us up because some of that money could really be helpful for our Lamborghini fund. Just joking, if you have 1 million ringgit or if you earn more than this every single year, if you put 3,000 ringgit into PRS, you can actually get 840 ringgit in tax savings. That is an immediate 28% return. I guess if you're making that much money though, 840 ringgit may not be that much. Okay, fine. I don't think any of us or many of us are raking in that much. So what is a more realistic figure? Let's say you're making 50,000 ringgit. You still get 240 ringgit in tax savings, which is about 8%. And remember, this is immediate, right? I put it in December. Right away in April, I already get a tax deduction and I get these returns regardless of how my investment performs. If the investment does well, then I get even more. And this is why I'm making this video now. If you want to be entitled for it this year, then you have to make your investment before the 1st of January 2022. This leaves us about 1 month to do so. So I've talked about the pros of investing in PRS, and really that is the only thing there, but there are definitely some cons to it. First of all, let's face it, having your money locked in until retirement is not ideal. Of course, it's good to invest your money and prepare for retirement. That is a great thing and we always advocate for it. But not being able to withdraw it is a major con in my opinion. It takes away the liquidity, it takes away the flexibility, and yes, even though we always say invest your money in things like the S&P 500 and StashAway, don't withdraw it if you can, but at least in times of emergency, you can always take it out. In this case, you cannot. So for those of you who don't have your emergency fund set up yet, so let's say 6 months worth of costs, or you have very high interest debt, then I would recommend that you don't even look at PRS right now. Seriously, just turn off this video. It's not worth it. Just kidding, please watch to the end. Another con of PRS is that you're only limited to mutual funds. This means that you have to pay all the stuff like management fees. They do remove or minimize sales fees though, which is good, but that is something common in platforms like Fund Supermart anyway. Also, like I mentioned at the start of this video, you're limited to only 8 fund managers which have been approved, and you can only buy mutual funds through them to be eligible for this PRS. I'm unsure of the returns or how these funds have been performing. To be honest, I haven't done any research at all, but I'm thinking of doing some for my own purposes so that I can decide if I want to put my own money into PRS. So personally, I'm not completely sold yet. There is of course that major benefit of tax relief, which could save us some money, and of course investing money is never a bad thing. I'm going to do a bit of calculation about exactly how much money I'm going to save from this year alone, and I'll probably make a decision from there. To be honest, this tax relief is the only benefit of PRS to me. If the government ever decides to remove this tax relief thing, then I just don't see why anyone would put their money here. In line with that, I also completely advise against putting more than 3,000 ringgit. I just don't see why you would put it here instead of just a normal mutual fund which you can sell anytime. Also, I'm gonna have to take a look at the funds available. If they're all garbage, then there's literally no point in doing this. Yes, we may save 8%, let's say, on taxes, but if the investments do very poorly, then what's the point of even doing all of this? However, all of these fund managers are the largest ones in Malaysia. They're very well known, so I doubt that they will have very bad funds. In fact, I invest in some of them through my EPFs. So let us know down in the comments below, would you invest in PRS, and do you want us to come up with a video to go through the funds? Thanks for watching to the end, guys. Give us a big thumbs up if you haven't already and subscribe to our channel. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.